Hello and welcome to the Car Care Nut channel. So folks, today we have a product from Autel. First time on the channel, they got in touch and we're looking at the MaxiBAS or MaxiBAS BT-608E battery tester. And when I say battery tester, I mean a very serious battery tester and an expensive one. In this video, we're going to do a full review. We'll check it out, see all its features, talk about some things we like, some things we don't like. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching another videos. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So, the battery tester. First impressions, I like the case. I always like the cases because this is how you're going to store them and they really stay nice and safe. It says Autel on the front. Let's open the case and let's look at what we have inside. First thing we have is the tool itself. Very nice tool, very nice quality. One thing I will note on the screen, I've been using this for a while now. I wanted to really do an extended review on this. The screen scratches very easy. So there's a few scratches here. You'll see them through the test. Then you have the test leads, which are very high quality, very nice connection to the unit. The clamps, they're nice quality. I like this. They're not the highest quality that you'll find in some multi-$1,000 tools, but for a tool in this price range, this is very high quality. Next on, we have packet here that came with 2 rolls of printer, a charger, and a USB cable, which you're going to use to charge. We also have some additional posts that are really used on some models that you can't really get a clamp on their battery terminal. This will clip, this will kind of screw in, and now you have an actual battery terminal to test on. Then we have a wireless dongle. And you're probably wondering, why does a battery tester have an OBD2 wireless dongle? Well, this is where this tool's party piece starts. And having looked through what's in the box, let's start talking about what this tool does. The first function of this tester is the battery test. And folks, this is not some $69 special on Amazon battery tester that's half accurate. This is a seriously sophisticated battery tester. This is the kind of battery tester that gives you very accurate results. I mean, through testing on this and comparing it to a very expensive $15,000 dealership tool, this thing was exactly the same. The cool thing about this tool is the accuracy of the test. And what I mean by accuracy of the test, see, batteries, you're going to put a load on them and see how much they drop. That's the simple, your $69 battery tester. That's all it's going to do. It's not going to analyze any data. It's just going to subject the battery to a specific load depending on its CCA rating or whatever rating unit you're using. And it's going to see how fast that voltage drops, and it's going to know, okay, this is good, no good, needs a charge, a drop. That's the only thing it's going to do. But this actually does a series of tests, analyzes it, and it takes so much data. See, the thing about batteries is temperature plays a big role on these batteries. And this scans the temperature of the battery. It knows the car you're testing the battery on. It just collects so much data, and it has an algorithm that is able to do a proper test. Because I have seen so many times that I have a cheapo tester, you test the battery, it says good recharge, but you go test it with a real battery tester, it says actually this has a bad cell. Or worst case scenario with the cheapo batteries testers, you'll test the battery, it'll say replace battery, and you go and replace it, and there we go. But when you test it with a real tester like this one, or the big testers that cost multi-$1,000s, it'll tell you good recharge. You just need to recharge this battery. This battery is so depleted, it has good health, it's so depleted that it just needs a very good deep charge and it'll come back to life. The little testers that are cheap, they won't pick that up. This will be able to tell, and we'll demonstrate that in a bit. But the cool thing about this is it can test the battery in the car where it's connected. See, when you test the battery in the car, you do have some draw on this battery. And the little cheapo testers, they could pick that up as bad battery health. And that's why they could be slightly inaccurate. This, however, you tell it, is this battery in the car, in service, or is the battery outside the car, and it will adjust accordingly. And you can see that in the menu. These are the first two things on the menu. And this does not only test batteries and that's it. This has a lot of useful features. Now, this tool is geared more towards professional using it in a shop, but if you're a serious DIY and you do a lot of this stuff, and you do have some kind of a clientele that you built up, this could be actually useful to you, because this has a full suite of features for the batteries. Not only does it test them, but the cool thing that it does is it registers the battery, or it does a battery replacement procedure. This is something, if you drive a BMW, this is the biggest thing. Some of these manufacturers, BMW included, they will have a battery registration. As your battery ages, the car will start increasing the alternator output to help that aging battery. But if you go and just replace the battery without telling the car, hey, we put a new battery, it's going to actually fry that battery because it's overcharging it all the time, even though it doesn't need it. So this tool can actually register batteries, which is pretty cool. Something else that it can do, I'll give you another example in Toyota land. Cars with start-stop technology. You need to tell the computer that you have a correct original battery, or if you go aftermarket, you need to tell it, this is not an original battery, this is an aftermarket. So it would adjust accordingly, and your start-stop would work correctly and not put you in a situation where it can't start the car because it didn't know what kind of battery it has, and now you're in a situation. This can also register that if you change the battery type. And something else that is even takes it to the next level with this tool. It has a battery reset function. What that means is you replaced your battery in your car. Well, many cars, when you replace the battery, there are certain initializations or relearn procedures that you need to do to get this car ready to go. This is available in the repair manual, but going to the repair manual and look at an individual, it takes forever. This actually has that built in. So you scan the VIN number, you connect to the car, it knows what kind of car it is, and it's going to tell you, here's what you need to do after a battery replacement. And not only that, it'll tell you how to do it, which is pretty cool. This makes it kind of a battery replacement tester complete tool package. And it doesn't stop there, because you also have your alternator test, which is actually somewhat accurate if you have an accessory that added to it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And it also have a starter draw test, which is also cool. Many of these cheapo tools will have this, but this has it a little bit more serious. Something else that it has, this has an OBD2 reader. So it reads codes, shows freeze frame. In addition to that, it also shows live data. It doesn't have any of the fancy two-way bi-directional control, whatever, but it has a basic code reader, which is fine, I suppose. And something else that it does that I think is pretty cool. This can test lithium batteries. We're not talking about big hybrid batteries or whatever. We're talking about 12-volt lithium batteries. Not a lot of testers can do that. Even if you get into some of the real serious expensive ones, they can't do that. This one can, which is pretty cool. Now, in addition to all these features, it has a multimeter feature built in. However, you do need to buy an accessory for that, which has multimeter leads, and it also has an amp probe. Pretty cool, but there are some issues with that, which we will talk about a little bit later in the video. In addition to all that, because this is geared more toward professionals, this has a printer. It comes with 2 rolls of paper. You can buy more paper, so you can print the results in details and present them to your customer, keep them for the shop records. Or if you're DIY, you could just keep it so you can track what's going on. But additionally, it also logs all this stuff here, so you can go back and print something from the past. It's not like you print something and you lose it immediately and it's gone if you lose that paper. No, it keeps a log of what tests you did, and you can reprint them, which is cool. And the nicest thing about all this has a wireless OBD2 connector. The reason you need this OBD2, not just to read codes and whatnot, when you do a battery test, you connect this to get the VIN number, to get all the data. Some of the data is pre-populated and you'll just see it pop up. It'll tell you what the original battery is. You don't have to be looking around for what the capacity of the original battery. But having said all that, let's go test it on this 2022 Camry behind me so you can see how it does the test and what is the additional steps that it needs to test a battery. We're connected here to the battery. The battery in this Camry is in the back. The nice thing is the cable is very long, so you don't have to be right next to the battery. You can actually stand outside. Let's go in vehicle test. And it'll ask you some terms. It's going to ask you to connect the VCI, which is the wireless dongle here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect that to the car and turn on the key. So it detected the VIN number immediately. It could not decode the VIN because this is a 2022 car, and this is where the slight limitation is. It doesn't have the newest and latest and the greatest database listed. However, you can actually scan the license plate. You can scan the VIN number without having to do the VCI thing. So we're gonna go Toyota, let's find it. Year goes to 2021. 2021 Camry Hybrid is the same as the 22. So we're gonna go model. See, it does not show a Camry, and that's where this is the limitation of the update. But that's fine. We're gonna select the CCA of this battery. And just from experience, it already pulled up 585, which if this was not a Camry Hybrid, that would be correct. But this one, because it's a hybrid, it's a 345 CCA. So let's go down to 345. You can actually, instead of putting the battery data, you can scan the QR code on the battery. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. So we're gonna turn on the camera to scan the QR code. There we go. Picked up the QR code on the battery. You can additionally take pictures of the battery. You can note its condition. There is nothing wrong with this battery, so we're going to proceed. Now it's telling you turn off all electrical appliances. That's translation from Chinese perhaps. Ignition off, close all vehicle doors. It's basically telling you take off all the load. So let me remove the VCI, turn off the key, and we'll be ready to test the battery. So now that I have done that, we're gonna mark them as we did them and then start testing. So I'm gonna start testing the battery right now. There we go. That result is 100% accurate in this car. Good recharge. And it gives you a little bit of more of data. Some of the cheapo scan tools will give you the similar data. It's showing you state of health, showing you the voltage, the measured CCA, the capacity, and the temperature. This is super cool information. And if you want to print it, just hit report, print. Here goes the printer. Basically shows you all the data. Battery is normal. Test battery again in 90 days. It even makes a recommendation. This is super cool. Now, having said all that, let's talk about some things that I don't like about this tool. And unfortunately, there's quite a few things I don't. Starting with the biggest elephant in the room, the price. Now, the original MSRP is $599. That's 600 bucks for this tool. You can have it for discounts. You can have it for a lot cheaper. I've been looking online. They're available cheaper, so don't pay $599 for this. But the problem is, for $599, I expect it to be a complete, absolute complete package. Let's talk about the first problem. You added all these features to it. The OBD2 diagnostic capability. It's not really diagnostic capabilities because you can buy a very cheapo tool that can do basically more than this in the case of OBD2 reading data, whatnot. But the problem is it only goes to 2018. And I tried to update it That's all it goes to. They're not proactive on the updates here. And the updates are included for free, so maybe that is why. But still, if you're selling this as a professional tool, it needs to have good coverage. I mean, even the cheapest OBD2 tool will have coverage to 2021, 2020. This stops in 2018, which is less than desired for a tool of this price. Then there is the multimeter debacle. And I'm calling it that because that's what it is. So you're selling this tool at this price because it has all these features and you have all these beautiful additional features. But the problem with the multimeter is it does not come with the leads. It does not come with the amp probe. That's an additional accessory that you have to pay over $200 to get. So now $600, $200, now you're paying $800 for a battery tester, a half-rate OBD2 reader, and then a multimeter that is not really a fully functional multimeter. It's not a real multimeter. For 200 bucks, you can buy a very good multimeter and forget about all this stuff. This is where this becomes a problem. See, folks, I harped on this tool. For a battery tester, this is a seriously good battery tester. It's comparable to multi-$1,000 battery testers. You'll find them at dealerships because those are the only people required to buy them. So as a battery tester, this is epic. But they tacked on all this stuff that are half-rate, the OBD2 reader, the multimeter that doesn't, you can't even use it until you buy more stuff. I wish they would have taken this stuff out, made this tool a little cheaper. It would have made a lot more sense. But that's what we have, and that's what they did. It's still a very good tool, but you're gonna want to shop around and get the best price for this to actually make sense. Paying $599 for it does not make sense because the additional features, they're just not very good. And I hope Autel would get rid of all of that, make the tool a little cheaper, and focus only on the battery testing functionalities, which are really good on this. And folks, before we wrap up this video, the company, when they send me this, they did send me a 10% discount. You'll easily find similar discounts online, but in case you're shopping around, you're a shop owner, advanced DIY, whatever the case may be, I will leave that information, that discount code in the description of this video if you're interested. But do shop around always. The cheaper you can get this tool, the more sense it will make, because it's a good tool, but at $599, it's a little much with kind of the additional features being half rate. Folks, I hope this video is helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. And until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.